Hi everyone. I am doing Simon's review this week of his book Choose Life, and in fact, I have decided to do 2 days because they're both very similar. When I decided to do this, I'd been really enjoying it, but I found this last week quite challenging personally for me. So it's kind of good, isn't it? So I'm being stretched a bit here today. So the two I'm going to be looking at is Wednesdays and Thursdays. Action or inaction, speak up or shut up. Both kind of similar. So, in the action and inaction, Simon was referring to a guide that had been done, a study that had been done, and it was about the fact that in the short term, many of us have regrets. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten so much last night, or oh, I should have taken a different route home from work, or oh, I shouldn't have had that black coffee, at 10 o'clock at night. But they're all short term and actually easily forgotten. But the study said that often with long term regrets, it's things that we didn't do. So, you look back on your life and think, oh, I wish I had gone to college. I wish I had actually made the effort to go and visit this country or that place. Or I should have pursued that career and I didn't. And so he was just saying to us, when an opportunity comes, pray about it, but take it. Don't just keep praying about it and praying about it, thinking about it, and then not doing anything. So his challenge was to take that action, to do what it is that you feel is on your heart to do, and not to waste the opportunity. So then he comes on to talk about speaking up or shutting up, and I always get challenged on this because often we use examples from people like Wilberforce. And it's like, yeah, I'm not sure I could bring the aim to the end of, the end of slavery. But that doesn't mean to say I couldn't do something. But, I realise that God does put us in places of influence and positions where we can influence people for good. So, my dad was involved in environmental health. And at the time, he was responsible for Gatwick Airport, and he was really bothered by the new noise pollution because as Gatwick grew, so more and more planes were flying in and out, and it was disturbing people in their sleep at night by having these engines going. And so him and his staff, they documented and got all the evidence and proof that they needed to prove that this is what was going on and it was causing a disturbance, and went to the House of Parliament and a law was passed whereby there was no night flying. I think it was between 10 and 5. Now, I don't think that is no longer the case. But, my dad was used because he was in that position where he could be used. We have a guy in our church who is very high up within the police force. And, recently he was just saying about how he was working on strategies for social justice within the the police force. And it's like he has an incredible position and he is in that place of influence. And so, one of the things we can do is we can pray for these people because let's be honest, it's not easy when you are fighting against the trend. And even though people want social justice, it's one thing to say, I want it, but it's another thing to change practices. So we should pray for people who are in these places of influence. However, that doesn't negate the fact that we can do something to help people. We've just done a whole study, haven't we, on James. Faith without actions is dead. And so, for me, what can I do? Well, there have been times where I've invited someone to come and stay, and literally I've just put them on my sofa with a blanket over them and just allowed them to take time out. I know people who have cooked meals for other families who just need a little bit of help, people who have taken other people's children away for the day just to give the parents a break. There are all kinds of things that we can do so that when we see things, and the Holy Spirit highlights those things to us, don't ignore them and think, oh, well, someone else could do that, or the family should get involved, or social services should get involved in that, or whatever. It's like we all have a responsibility and we all have influences, spheres of influence, even if they're really small. So, yeah, as Christians, as followers of Jesus, we need to speak out as and when we can, and we need to demonstrate our faith by action. So this is my thoughts for this week. Bless you.